Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Marvel vs. Unboxing. This is for Hammer. This is the third set in the Children of the Atoms arc, the Utopia arc, Volume 2, Issue number 6. So we get to follow Norman Osborn's Hammer team. So the first arc in it had the Utopia Battles, which had half Hammer characters, which was Norman Osborn's Dark X-Men, Dark Avengers, and Thunderbolts. And then also the Resistance, which is Cyclops and all the mutants on Utopia. Then we had this first small box set, which is more characters from the Resistance, and this is more characters from Hammer. So we're going to get a couple of different effects in here, and then the checklist, and we'll look over those as need be. So our first, what's it say on the side here? In this follows installment of the three-part of the Children of M story. The hammer has been dropped, the X-Men are under assault, embrace the questionable methods of Bullseye, Dacking, and Mimic, and power up your deck for the upcoming battle of freedom versus rule of law. Alright, so we got Bullseye, who's pretending to be Hawkeye. Perfect aim. Choose a defender. Bullseye gains attack this combat until his attack is equal to that character's defense. Perfectionist. When Bullseye strikes an enemy character with attack exactly equal to their defense, he gains an XP. And when he levels up, everything is a weapon. Put the top card of your deck into your KO pile. If it's a character, gaze an enemy character. An equipment, wound an enemy character. A location, move an enemy character to another one of its rows. Or plot twist, stun an enemy character. Then we have Dacking, Wolverine's son, who's pretending to be Wolverine, who says, I am not my father. He gains +3 attack this combat. Or, I'm supposed to be him. When Dacking stuns an enemy character in combat, he gains an XP. If it's Wolverine, he gains 4 XP instead. So that's really fun. If he has to stun 4 characters level up, or 1 Wolverine. And then he levels up, he gets Berserker. When he attacks, put a 1/1/+1/+1 counter on him. Lethal. Wounds defending supporting character, KO it, and regeneration at the start of your turn, heal a wound. And then our third and final main character is going to be Mimic. Checkered past. You start the game with an absorption history. Power hungry. When another character appears, Mimic gains an XP. So what is an absorption history, we are asking. Absorption history represents 3 characters it is copied powers from. In the game terms, the pile will include exactly 3 main characters. 1 level 1, 1 level 2, and 1 level 3. They can only be used from the illustrated universe, and they must have 3 different names. They can't share names through AKA. For example, you could have Cyclops level 1, Dutch level 2, and Spider-Man level 3. During setup, when you reveal a Mimic as your main character, you'll also reveal a level 1 character in your absorption history. Mimic gains the keyword and superpowers only when the game begins. When Mimic becomes level 2, you reveal the level 2 character of your absorption history. He now gains its keywords and superpowers and loses the powers of the level 1 he was previously copying. When it becomes level 3, you reveal level 3, he gains them and loses level 2. Well, absorption history is a keyword that can technically be turned off by certain effects. Turning it off doesn't affect the Mimic's ability to use the pile. It's locked in from the beginning of the game. So you can turn off the absorption power, but he's still going to have it copied because once it's there, it's there. Yeah, so that's actually neat. So you get to kind of create your own your character if you want. You're still going to have the same health and attack powers. But that's kind of cool. So his power thirsty, when another character appears, he gains an XP. And then his third one is it's just blank. That's to kind of fight off against rogues and become super powerful. Alright, our supporting characters, which will have 4 copies of each, are going to be Hammer Enforcer, Swarm, any number of a character on your side can't be turned off, and Soldier. I don't think we've seen most of the outside of the Hydra set. When this character appears, put a -1/-1 counter on equal to the number of soldiers on your side into an enemy supporting character. Victoria Hand. Who is Agent, who I don't think we've seen since the Shield set. Victoria appears with cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of agents on your side. Put any number of them on the bottom of your deck. Right Hand Woman. The first time the main character on your side uses a strength superpower each turn, they pay 1 less superpower. That's crazy. We have Ghost, part of the Thunderbolts. Intangible. Ghost can't strike or be struck in melee combat, and invisible. Ghost doesn't protect characters and can't be protected. Grizzly, another blank character, kind of like Colossus, but he's a lot cheaper. These are also more Thunderbolts. Headsman. Executioner. If Headsman is in melee attacking an exhausted defender, he has Ferocious and Strike to triple his attack this combat. So he's going to take advantage of a weakened person. We have Paladin. Stun Gun. When Paladin stuns an enemy character's combat, it can't recover until after its recovery phase. Scourge, who is also Nuke. Leader. With Scourge leading the team attacking, you choose who the defender strikes back against. Vex's Incendiary Missiles. Burn. An enemy supporting character, Scourge could attack. These are all the newer Thunderbolts during this time, during Dark Reign. Mr. X. I can predict your every move. When enemy characters in solo combat with Mr. X, its current attacking defense can't be higher than its printed attacking defense. And we have an Emma Frost for this side. Fluid Form and Fidelity. So just like the Emma Frost in the Resistance set, if you power up a Resistance Emma Frost with supporting characters card, you may have her transform into this instead. Organic Diamond Form. When this character appears or transforms, she gets +4 defense. So they can go back and forth, which is a really fun idea. And then our final support character is going to be the Void. Sentry's Evil Half. No escape. When the Void appears to each Sentry supporting character, Sentry supporting characters can't appear. Then we're going to get a plot twist. So 4 copies, not tied to a specific team, which is always fun. Mob Mentality. Your main character may pay Humanity. If it does, team attackers on your side get +3 and can't be stunned during combat. So Humanity is not a symbol in the most sets. It was in the Alien set, it's in the Monsters Unleashed set, and I think it might be in the Fantastic Four set. So it's one you kind of have to look around for. But it's just Humanity versus X-Men. Then we have 4 copies of this special occasion, also not tied to a team. Alcatraz. It's a prison. During your main phase, but not during combat, your main character may pay a Humanity. If it does, turn this location face down. Then move a face down enemy or a face up enemy supporting character to your side and hide it. When it's turned face up, move it back. So that's neat. So that is that set. I don't think we have any other ones we really need to look at for these, but we'll check. Instead of this, like you burn a character, says at the end of your turn, stun that character. Burn effect has no set duration, will last until the burning character leaves play. Ferocious means, well, melee combat, he strikes before other characters are ferocious. Bullseye will give him an attack equal to the attack until its defense, but the defender gains or loses attack later in combat, it won't affect him. So whenever he does it is when it happens. Mr. X can temporarily reduce the attack defense of a character when solo combat with Mr. X. For example, the printed is 4/4 and has 3 1/1 counters. It's currently a 7/7, but when he's fighting him, he's a 4/4. And Emma Frost is like a transform, keeps your orientation face down, face up, and all her counters and everything else. And Alcatraz, when a character is in prison, turns face up, the player who used Alcatraz decides which role the original side it goes back to. And there's our deck list. This is a reminder. Alright, yeah, so some fun Thunderbolt characters. Some good Dark X-Men League characters you get to play around with. I kind of wish they were, like Hawkeye, aka Bullseye, like Wolverine, that, or at least had like the aka in there, even if it was just Bullseye, like aka Hawkeye. That would have been kind of unique as well, so you couldn't use both of them at the same time. But they didn't do that, unfortunately, so that's alright. That would just would have been kind of a neat idea. Alright, that's what we got for H.A.M.M.E.R. Check out the other 2 videos. Check out the rest of the videos on the channel. See you guys later. Bye. Alright, the Hunger does not see it. Beginning your build phase, you may discard location. If you don't, wound Galactus. The Pillager of Planets. When a good Herald of Galactus appears on your side, Galactus gains 1 XP. When Evil Herald, he gains 2. So you can level him up. So if you just bought this set, you're not going to have any of those good ones, so you only have Evil. But if you bought the Herald set, you can mix this together and definitely do that. Yeah, summon a Herald. If you don't have a Herald of Galactus on your side, search your deck for one, reveal it, and put it onto your side. So now he's a 10/10. Devourer of Worlds. You play an alien card, search for a location, and heal a wound from Galactus. So again, like Silver Surfer in the Herald set, this requires you having locations from a different set altogether. The Monsters Unleashed is going to have these. Otherwise, the Alien set would also have them. Kind of neat, but it also kind of sucks that you have to find a specific specific thing to do that. Alright, so our third and final main character is going to be Kane the Conqueror. Immeasurable identities. This game, Kane supporting characters you own are main characters instead. It is the Conqueror who changes the world. When an enemy character gets wounded, Kane gains XP. So I want to look at that quick. It says, immeasurable identities makes all your Kane supporting characters into main characters. This effect will last the whole game, even if your starting main character gets killed. As long as you have any main characters on your side, you don't lose the game. So the more Kanes you can play, the more powerful they are. And then, Light of the Centuries. Shuffle each resource into its owner's deck. Then choose a number of 1 to 10. Each player puts that many cards from the top of their deck face down into their resource row. If any locations are placed this way, they may play them face up instead. Kane may only use his power once per game. Alright, we're going to get to some supporting characters. Our first one is actually a Fantastic Four ally, or team ability. Herald of Galactus is his Red Shift. Cosmic Combat Master. Enemy players can't play plot twists during this combat. Normally, Combat Master means you can't play him against them. Cosmic expands it to the entire field. With Heralds of Galactus, you pay 1 less to recruit Galactus supporting characters. It's kind of interesting that he appears in here as a Fantastic Four set instead of the Frightful ability. So here we have Kane, the Tomorrow War. At the start of the game, before players draw their opening hand, secretly choose a future date. Kane can't appear unless it is that date. Time will tell. Kane has the attack and defense equal to the future date. And Swarm, you may have any number of Kanes on your side. This power can't be turned off. Do we have a specific thing here? Yes. If any number of kings on your side, the Tomorrow War lets you pick a single feature gate before playing. Players draw their opening hands. Feature gate is represented by a whole number from 1 to 10. Counts as being that gate. It counts as being that gate where you have exactly that many resources. So it's not saying, oh, I picked January 18th. It's saying so you want to pick 1 to 10, and then we have that many. So if you pick 7 as your feature gate, King can only appear after you've played exactly 7 resources. On the bright side, he's free. Note, if you forget to pick a feature gate at the beginning of the game acts as though you choose 10. So you can choose 1 and play him immediately, or right away, but then he's going to be super weak. But if you play 7, you have to wait longer, but he becomes a lot more powerful. So it's kind of interesting. Time will tell such change attack and defense equal to the feature gate you selected. It doesn't matter how many resources you currently have, it locks in when you select the game before it starts. So that's kind of an interesting thing. It also goes with the rest of the Fantastic Four of having these weird abilities that work outside of what the cards do. Here we have the Fallen One. Herald of Galactus. You pay 1 less to recruit Galactus supporting characters. Herald of Thanos. Pay 1 less to recruit Thanos supporting characters. And Fallen Herald. The following strikes Galactus or Thanos stun that character. It's another fun one. We have Airwalker. Gets the Herald of Galactus and Horn of Galactus. You pay 1 less to recruit Galactus supporting characters this turn. Airwalker may use this any number of times on your turn. Hyperstorm. Endless supply of energy. Galactus loses the hunger that does not cease and the supreme power. Hyperstorm has all the printed superpowers of face-up characters. Stardust, another Herald. Ethereal. When Stardust gets KO'd by an enemy character, remove her from the game. At the start of your build phase, put her onto your side. It's pretty powerful. Then we get a non-Herald Galactus themed character. So you have the Maker, which is the evil version of Reed Richards from the Ultimate Marvel Universe. His multiversal omnipresence. You may include up to 5 different equipment without invention in your invention pile, and only the Maker can invent them. And Stroke of Genius. At the start of your turn, if you drew a card, our Maker creates an invention. So that's pretty cool. Terrax the Tamer, who's a Herald, and Cosmic Geokinesis. Move all +1/+1 counters on all sides onto a character on your side, then double the +1/+1 counters on them. Now imagine using this with Human Torch's main character, Human Torch's Nova Flare, which says every time he uses the ability, he puts -1/-1 counters on enemy players equal to the number of +1/+1 counters he has. So if you had 5, or you had a bunch of other characters, you move them all to that. Let's say now Human Torch has 20 counters, and then you double it and you get 40 counters, because you've had a bunch of stuff. You could then use Nova Flare to spread them 40 counters amongst all your opponents, basically effectively KOing everyone. I mean, it's a ridiculous scenario, but it could happen, and that's what makes it fun. Morg the Executioner. The Herald Ordeal. When Morg appears, you may stun an enemy Herald of Galactus supporting character. Herald of Galactus and Executioner. If Morg melee attacks an exhausted defender, he has Ferocious and strikes with triple his attack this turn. And our final supporting character has to be Galactus. This is what we're talking about when we get Galactus. A 30/30, which I think is officially the highest. I think Dark Phoenix and Sentry were both up in the 20s, but I think Galactus beats him with 30. Scour the Universe. Galactus can only appear when he is recruited and only where there is a Herald of Galactus on your side. Cosmic Entity. Galactus is unaffected by burn, freeze, immobile, or infect. and the monster of all worlds. At the start of your main phase, you may name a location. If you do, remove each card with that name everywhere from the game. So you can get rid of a bunch of stuff. But then if you would say, let's say if you said laboratory, it's going to get rid of all your laboratories too. So you gotta be careful with that. Now there's a 12 cost, but for every Herald of Galactus you have out, it reduces it by 1. So if you had 12 Heralds out, you could make Galactus free, which is very interesting. And then our final card will be a plot twist, which is the Power Cosmic, which is not tied to a team ability, or a team at all, which is nice. And if you have supporting characters on your side in combat with a cost of 8 or more, stun the enemy supporting character in combat with a cost of 7 or less. If you have a main character with level 3 or more, stun an enemy main character with a combat of 2 or less. Basically, you become more powerful than everyone else. I am just curious here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Heralds in this set, plus Airwalker could make stuff cheaper, but we have 6 different Heralds in that set, and in the Fantastic Four set, we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we have 4 in that, so we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we only get 10 of the 12 Heralds. So if you're playing a combination of the 2 decks, you could, with one of each different character, you could have, where did Galactus go? So yeah, you could have 6 from the Frightful set. You could have 4 from the Herald's expansion. So you could have 10 out. So you could essentially make him 2. But you could also make him less because you have main characters that are Firelord would have it, Silver Surfer main character, or the Nova main character. So if you had although if you had each one of those out, if you had Silver Surfer out, because the supporting Silver Surfer is not a Herald of Galactus, so if you're playing Silver Surfer as a main character, and you mixed all the other cards together, you could have 11 of the 12 Herald of Galactus cards out, making essentially Galactus playable for 1 point. And then, since you also have Airwalker out, who can pay 1 red to reduce the cost, and you can use that multiple times. You can even just pay 1. You can essentially have, 11 Heralds out, have Airwalker play his horn once, summon Galactus for free. And you have at least 11 other characters on, which would be ridiculous to get out. But again, that's what's fun about these decks. You can buy these, just play them as they are, or you can mix and match with other sets, and you can make some really interesting combinations. Alright, that's what we got for the Frightful. So add some fun new Fantastic Four villains. The Heralds make an interesting set. Just that one that has the Fallen one, which is Herald of Thanos as well. I love when they include stuff that references other sets, because it gives you more of a reason to do a deck building. Alright, check out the other 2 videos. See you guys later. Bye.